Hey, Purple Ella here and welcome back to my channel. Today I want to do something a little bit different. I want to talk to you about autism and clothing. So if you or someone that you know is on the autistic spectrum, you probably already know that clothing can be an issue for us. There's a few reasons that clothing can be an issue for us, and obviously everybody's preferences and sensory sensitivities around this area will be individual. So what I'm going to do is tell you the kinds of challenges that I have faced and do face with clothing, and then I'm going to take you to my wardrobe, let you have a look at the solutions that I've come up with and how I managed to hopefully look okay whilst also dealing with the challenges that I face because of my autistic spectrum condition and the clothing that I wear. So let's start with the first and really obvious reason that autistic people sometimes have difficulties with clothing: sensory processing needs. So many people will have sensory processing issues around the clothing that they wear. Some of the more obvious reasons for these issues are labels, socks. Socks cause tremendous amounts of us great deals of problems because of the seams and the fact that they have to sit right, and if they're not right, that's not right. Labels, obviously, scratchy, itchy, it's just something there that shouldn't be there. I also personally have difficulty with anything that is tight or restrictive. Some people like tight and pressure type clothing. I personally find that bothers me. I like to feel free in my clothes. So tight and restrictive clothing, that includes kind of waistbands. That also, unfortunately for me as a woman, includes bras. I hate bras. Bras are a nightmare. So when I was younger, I actually didn't wear a bra for quite a long time, but I was a little bit concerned when I got pregnant and became a little bit more, shall we say, fuller chested, that if I didn't wear a bra, I was going to start to get back problems. So I had to start wearing a bra, and the sort of whole bra around the chest thing is just unpleasant. Then, moving on, so there will be all sorts of different reasons from a sensory point of view that the people you know or yourself might have problems with clothing. So I would say look at that kind of closely and figure out what those challenges are to start off with. There are other reasons that clothing and getting dressed can be a challenge for those of us on the autistic spectrum, and I'm going to try and explain some of those reasons now. So firstly, choices. Choices generally. Choosing anything can be a challenge because it's hard for us to imagine how something's going to look or how something's going to turn out in our heads before we've made that choice. So when you open up your wardrobe in the morning, choices just make it a little bit overwhelming and a little bit difficult to decide what to wear that day. And in addition to that, not only do we have to choose something, we have to choose something that matches, goes together and looks good. So no pressure then. Another one of the challenges that I face is, and this is probably going to sound a little bit ridiculous, but I genuinely find this a challenge, is choosing the right clothing for the right temperature or the right weather. I've noticed that I tend to overdress because I hate being cold. Some autistic people really can't handle the heat. I'm actually a little bit of a heat lover. I love a sunbathe, I love the sun. But I do not like being cold, not even a little bit cold. Just cold is unbearable to me. So I always overdress because I'm always worried that if I don't, I might be cold. And then conversely, occasionally, when it becomes summer, I will decide, oh, it's summer. Today is the day that I can start wearing some summer clothing. And I will massively overdo that. Wear something really like a little vest and tiny little shorts. And of course, it'll be the day that it's overcast. It's not actually that warm. It's colder. I get cold and I decide that summer isn't for me and start overdressing again. So that is also a challenge. So now that I've explained those challenges, I'm going to whip off over to my wardrobe and show you some of the ways that I deal with those challenges. And as an added bonus, show you some of my clothes. So this is my wardrobe. And first of all, I'm going to explain to you how I like to organise my wardrobe to make that choice making part of the day a little bit easier. So my wardrobe is very carefully organised. And if it gets out of place, that stresses me out because this is kind of part of how my mornings when I'm choosing my clothes are a little bit easier. So I have jumpers, T-shirts. Now, when I organise T-shirts, I have T-shirts with patterns on one side and T-shirts that are plain on the other side. I repeat the same thing when I get down to my vest tops. By vest tops, I'm assuming you all know what I mean. Vests that you wear out, not underneath your clothing. Again, I go for plain on one side, patterned on the other. I do the same thing with my long sleeve tops in a drawer here. It's quite hard to show you it all because I can't go down. But, you know, plain on one side, patterned on the other, long sleeve t-shirts. I go down to hoodies and sweatshirts that have a zip. Then I go down to sweatshirts that do not have a hood or a zip. And at the bottom, I've got my kind of summer shorts and short leggings. Moving up, on this side of the wardrobe, everything hangs. Trousers hang, because I find it, if I start with the trousers, I can make an outfit, so I hang those, so they're the first things I pick. And then additionally, I've got tunics and dresses, and everyone has one of these in their wardrobe, right? I have my Star Trek uniform. How Sheldon am I? So, then I have kind of underwear type stuff and a drawer full of pyjamas, because I do love my PJs and I do spend quite a lot of time in them. So they have their own drawer and there's quite a lot of them. Now, first of all, when I was talking to you about restricted clothing, one of the big areas being waistbands, I know that a lot of people on the autistic spectrum like to wear jogging bottoms, and I didn't really want to be wearing jogging bottoms all the time because I am a little bit vain, I guess, and I kind of want to feel like I blend in and like I look nice, and not the jogging bottoms don't look nice, but for me they're like kind of more casual and less of a put together outfit. So I found these trousers, which are from Gap, and they are jeans, and when you wear them you look like you're wearing jeans. They are baggy, but they have got an elasticated waist, no buttons, no zips, and nothing that feels overly restrictive around my waist. So when I found these, they also have an elasticated cuff at the bottom, which means they don't kind of drag on the ground. So I really like those, so much so that when I first bought a pair, I then went straight away and bought another 2 pairs. So now I have 3 pairs of these, and they form the basis of quite a lot of my outfits when it's not full on summer as it is today. Ditto, summer dresses. I had a little bit of a hard time with summer dresses generally, and in dresses in general, because they are quite fussy and zippy. And so today I'm wearing one of, again, I bought 3 of them because I really like them. That is one of my top tips. If you find something that's comfortable that you feel like you look good in, stock up. These dresses, also from Gap, I don't shop at Gap loads, but yeah, are basically just like plain t-shirt material, no zips, no fuss, no nothing. It's just like a t-shirt that goes down to just above my knees and doesn't come in at the waist and doesn't bother me. It's quite hard for me to show you the whole thing because of the way that the camera's set up, but that is my kind of tip for dealing with restrictive clothing. Socks. Now, who here is on the autistic spectrum and hasn't had trouble with socks? That would probably be easier to count, wouldn't it? So for me personally, I find that if I spend money on socks, that really helps. Cheap socks from the supermarket or whatever, they look really nice, or from Primark or from New Look or whatever, they look really nice, and I love socks. I have got a little bit of a thing about socks in general, but you put them on and they've got stuff inside, not good socks. So I would recommend that you spend money on good quality socks, and that when you find a pair of good quality socks that sit nicely on your feet, that you again buy lots of them. If you really struggle with socks, I would say that you can get socks that are seam free and that are made from bamboo, which is less sweaty and more kind of comfortable. But I did look into this, and I think I'm kind of remembering this was a couple of years ago, and I think they were something like £8 a pair. And I personally cannot afford to spend £8 a pair on socks. So that wasn't an option for me. But if it's something that's like really just making your day hell, maybe it is worth paying £8 a pair on socks. The other thing that I would say is really useful to do when you are buying clothing is to prioritise comfort over style. Now, if you're anything like me, you're going to be in the shop and you're going to be like, oh yeah, I really want to fit in. Oh, I really want to look good. That looks great. I'll put it on. Maybe I can tolerate it. I mean, it's bothering me a little bit, but maybe I'll settle into it. Maybe just don't go there. I just don't go there anymore. If it isn't comfortable and I'm not going to be comfortable in it, I don't want it. So when you're shopping, take time to shop so that you can discover which styles, which fabrics and which brands are most comfortable for you. And then doing that initial work will mean that then when you need to restock on clothing, you're already going to have a clear idea of what you want, and that's going to make it all a lot easier. The other thing that I would say makes it a lot easier in terms of choosing what you're going to wear in the morning, and in terms of looking kind of like, I don't know about you, but I have a tendency to put things together that do not go together. So in order to make that easier, I would say pick a kind of colour palette. Now, no surprises that my base palette is purple. So that means that I own a lot of purple clothing, a lot of purple accessories, and the basis of my outfit is going to be purple, and then I'm going to tie it in with something. So I might not be wearing loads of purple, but say for example, this weekend when I did the autism show, and thank you to everyone who was there and supported me because you were amazing, but this weekend when I did the autism show, I was actually wearing a stripy blue dress, black trousers. So I wasn't wearing a lot of purple, but I was wearing a purple chewy gem, and there's purple on my trainers, and I did my nails, you can probably just about see, in purple, so that kind of tied the whole outfit together. So whatever, choose 1, 2 or 3 of your favourite colours that you look good in, that you feel that you look good in, make that the basis of your wardrobe, and then buy things either in that colour or a colour that will go with that colour. And that means that whatever you pick from your wardrobe is going to match. So that just makes life easier, and I really like that. I would also go for a similar kind of approach when it comes to style. So I tend to wear either just, you know, your basic jeans and a t-shirt, or if I'm wanting to wear something a bit different, I go tunic over something. So I go tunic dress over leggings, tunic dress over slightly baggy kind of yoga type pants. And that I find helps me to just having that style. What I wear is, what combinations I tend to wear are, these are the colours that I wear. Putting those kinds of things in a plan and knowing what you're shopping for, what you're putting together, just makes it a lot easier in the morning, because I don't have to think about what's going to go together because it's all going to go with purple. And I don't have to think what would I wear because I know what my style is. So I like baggier trousers and then either t-shirts or tunic tops. In the summer, I do kind of wear shorts and I do wear dresses because it's just too hot for that style. But given that in the UK, our summer is basically 3 months long, that means that most of the year I have a really clear idea of what I'm wearing. And I find that A, makes life easier, and also B, means that people will get used to what you wear. So if you're someone who likes to be a little bit quirky and likes to wear Adventure Time t-shirts or likes to wear Doctor Who t-shirts, and you just, you know, you want to wave your geek flag, then go for it. But don't just suddenly go for it out of nowhere. Just go for it, and then people will gradually go, oh yeah, that's what that person, they won't think about it. It'll just be what they expect. People have an idea of what they expect from you. So if you kind of have something you really, really want to look like, a style you really, really want to adapt, then just go for it and be confident that in time people will just go, oh yeah, that's her style. So those are my wardrobe related top tips. And I will say that if you've watched this video thinking my wardrobe is completely wrong, it's not what I want it to be, don't panic, start small. What I did when I first sort of decided I wanted to take control of my style was I went through my wardrobe and I got rid of absolutely everything that was sitting in there that I would not wear. You know those things that you keep, you're like, oh, I spent money on it, oh, I kind of like it, maybe I'll wear. If it's not been worn for a year, it was gone. And that left me with a base wardrobe. Then what I went for was coming up with an amount of clothes that I worked out that I needed to get me through the week and allow for sort of washing time and stuff. Once I'd worked that out, I actually made a list. So it was something like 5 pairs of trousers, 3 t-shirts, 2 dresses. Once I'd made that list, I looked through what I'd got left, which was only the clothes that were completely acceptable to me. And then I worked out what I'd got, what I needed, and it makes it really, really easy to stay on top of my clothing. It makes it really, really easy to not overbuy clothing. I know exactly where I'm at. I know exactly how many of each item that I need, and everything in my wardrobe is something that I love wearing. So choosing clothes then becomes a bit of a pleasure. So I hope that you've enjoyed this video. It's a little bit of something different, and if that's something that you would be interested in seeing me do, I do organise things a lot around my house and I can talk about those, or I was wondering if anyone was interested in kind of dietary stuff. If there's any aspect of my life that you are interested in me sharing how I do it, do leave me a comment in the comment box below and I'll try and make a range of more different videos. If you've enjoyed this video, do like it, do share it, and as always, if you're not subscribed, why not? Go subscribe now, and have a great week. Next week, I will be back with Roz for an Autism Company video because we have had to rejig our schedule. So I know it was only last week that I did one with her, but July's Autism Company will be next week, and we're going to be talking about different hats for different parts of life. So great. Have fun this week, and I'll see you next week. Bye-bye.